Let me just say that I am aware of the irony of me doing a video on my favorite neon nail polishes when my hair has basically turned back to brown. But we're still in lockdown, the salons haven't opened yet, and I am scared to bleach my own hair, so this is the world we live in right now. I'm just gonna have to compensate with really colorful makeup and clothing. What's up guys, it's Kelly and today I've got another favorites video for you. Today we are going to be talking about my top favorite neon nail polishes. We are specifically talking about full coverage neons that don't need a white base coat, so they give you full opacity without that white nail polish underneath. I really wanted to do a video specifically on these types of neons because I feel like that is the bane of my existence. I absolutely hate having to wear a white base coat in order to make a neon polish work for me. If you guys are looking for some full coverage neons that you don't need white for, this is the video for you. So if you guys haven't been following along, I have been doing an ongoing series of my favorite nail polishes in my collection. Basically, we have gone through the entire rainbow, doing like my favorite red nail polishes, my favorite orange, etc, etc. I've done my favorite one coat black nail polishes. I have done my favorite full coverage hollow nail polishes. So we're just moving right along. It's summertime. I figure now is the perfect time to talk about neon nail polishes. So really quick before we get started, let's talk about what actually constitutes a neon, because I've seen some people arguing in the comments before whether a polish should or should not be labeled as a neon. According to Google, a neon color is just one that appears to glow with intensity. So we're talking about super vivid, super saturated colors that almost have that like glowing quality to them. Like we're thinking like fluorescent signs here. Although, fun fact, fluorescent signs don't actually contain any of the neon element. And the only color that neon can make is an orangey red, which I thought was kind of cool when I was looking it up. So fun fact for you. But yeah, so we're not gonna be 100% strict here. I have a couple of neon pastel shades. I did try to limit it because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing a separate video on my favorite neon pastels because you guys know I love those. But yeah, there's a couple in here that I feel like some of you guys might not think are totally neon, but I would consider all of the shades that I'm talking about today to be a neon nail polish. Also, just keep in mind, it is pretty hard to capture neon nail polish on camera. I don't know what it is about neons, but I feel like they just don't show as intense when I'm filming them. So as intense as they are here, they're even more intense in real life. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, we've got 19 shades to go over today. All of them are fully opaque on their own, meaning they don't need a white nail polish to go underneath, and they're all really gorgeous. I'm gonna be linking the ones that are available down below. Not all of these are currently available, but I'm gonna have a nice little list for you. And then of course at the end, we're gonna do my little collage so you can see all of the colors together. So yeah, let's just get started. So first up, we have a classic. This is Cirque Colors Retail Therapy. This is a really gorgeous shade that's actually usually not available, but it is currently available in their Vice collection, which is a limited edition collection. They come out with it every year and it's different shades every year, but sometimes they do re-releases. So I was really excited to see this one. It's a really gorgeous, cool toned pink neon cream. It's opaque in 2 coats. I think it's such a beautiful shade. It's a really classic neon color and it's just a really beautiful pink, amazing formula, super easy to work with. Just overall, I feel like their Vice collection is my favorite neons ever. I have so many that I'm talking about today, some of which are currently available, some of which are not available, but I'm hoping that maybe they'll do re-releases of them in the future. But yeah, just be warned. Next up we have China Glaze For Real Though. This was actually part of their recent Sesame Street collection, but as soon as I started applying this one, I absolutely fell in love. It's another vibrant neon pink. This time it's in more of a jelly form, but it's still pretty opaque. It's actually really interesting because the first coat looks kind of cool toned, it looks pretty sheer, but then it ends up being pretty warm once you throw on that second coat, and I do get that nice opacity in 2 coats. There is a hint of visible nail line on that second coat, so you can always throw on a third and you will get full opacity, but I kind of like the way that looks with 2 coats. Next up we have a drugstore option. This is Swift from LA Colors. It is a hot neon pink cream. It was part of their Quick Color line, which actually just recently came out, but I was really excited to see it because I love when drugstore / inexpensive brands do difficult formulas well, and I feel like they did an incredible job. Neons in general, I feel like tend to be a difficult formula to work with. Either they're super chalky or they're really gummy and they're just too sheer to wear on their own. But I was really excited because this line, they did, for the most part, they did a really incredible job with it. Of course, this color is just super gorgeous. It's a classic neon shade. It does have a slight jelly-like feel to it, but I like the opacity in 2 coats. Again, you can throw on a third if you want to cover up that visible nail line, but I feel like this is opaque to me. Okay, next up we have Bite Me from China Glaze, and this is where I feel like there's a chance people are gonna think I'm being a little too lenient on what constitutes as a neon, but I definitely think this counts as a neon shade. It's like a bright, vibrant coral pink. It has this really gorgeous golden shimmer, and it really just looks like the color of neon sign to me. Like, I feel like that's what that shimmer does to it. It makes it look like it's glowing. I feel like it's the perfect summer color. It's actually pretty thick and it's super opaque. It's almost a one coater. Honestly, because of the opacity, I feel like it's not the easiest formula to work with, but I absolutely think it's worth it because the color is so beautiful. It really doesn't self-level, so you kind of need to make sure that you're applying it relatively carefully, and you definitely need top coat with it, but just a really beautiful shade, so I absolutely love this one in the summertime. Just a quick note, this one does dry to a pretty matte finish, which I think is standard for most neon formulas, but you can just throw on a top coat. You need one anyway because it doesn't self-level. All right, next up we have ORLY Muy Caliente, and this is actually a polish that I mentioned in my favorite oranges video. It is a super bright neon orangey red kind of cream shade. I feel like this swatch honestly doesn't even do the brightness justice. It's one of my absolute favorites. ORLY is just one of those brands I feel like that makes stellar neons. They just recently came out with an amazing collection of them too, but it does again have that slightly jelly-like formula, and I know I keep saying that in this video, so if you guys don't know what a jelly formula is, I do have a video, I'm gonna link it up in the cards for you guys, on what it means to be a jelly nail polish and how you can identify it. But when I say slightly jelly, I just mean it almost has that like sort of squishiness and you can slightly see some visible nail line, but I still consider that to be opaque. It does give me full opacity in two coats. I really can't see the visible nail line, but again, with all the ones that I'm saying a little jelly-like, you might need to throw on a third coat if you do have long nails. All right, next up we have another shade from Cirque. This one is called SUPERFREAK, and I don't actually know if this is a new polish or if it's a re-release, but I just recently got it for the Vice 2020 line and I immediately became obsessed with it. It's just a neon traffic cone orange cream. It has an absolutely incredible formula. I feel like honestly my camera isn't even doing any of these colors justice, but if you think they look cool on camera, you're gonna be absolutely blown away in real life. It is another limited edition shade, so it is currently available at the time this video goes out, but I'm not sure how long it's going to be around for, and I'm not sure when it's going to be re-released. So if you do like the Vice shades that I'm saying are available, I would recommend getting them ASAP. Next up we have Salon Perfect Traffic Cone. This one is another, as you could guess from the name, neon traffic cone orange cream shade. It's just another really beautiful neon shade. Honestly, it's not my favorite formula, but I feel like the color is super incredible, and I'm always more forgiving of drugstore formulas because I feel like they're a lot less expensive, they're more readily available, it's just more accessible for people to get, so I'm usually a little bit more lenient with them. This one does dry to a very matte finish, and like I said, most neons do end up being kind of matte just because of the pigment that they're made of. This one is like 100% matte. Honestly, I do like the way it looks matte. I think it's super cute. This one's actually a 3-coater for me, but I'm absolutely in love with it, so I feel like it's totally worth it. Next up we have ORLY Tropical Pop, and this one's actually a really interesting shade. I feel like it's relatively unique to my collection. I would consider it to be a neon orange yellow cream. It actually feels a little bit on the sheer side when you're first applying it, but it does manage to give opacity in 2 coats, which I think is really impressive. Again, I feel like this color just does not look on camera like how it looks in real life. It's so impossible to capture, but I feel like it's really just unique and beautiful. Just a quick note so you guys know, I don't know if it's my bottle, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. This one smells super weird, so I don't know if it's just me, if it's my bottle, or if that's just across the board, but if you guys are very sensitive to smells, you might not want to grab this one. All right, next up we have China Glaze Son of a Peach, and this one is a classic. Whenever I think of neon shades, I always think of like this polish in this collection from China Glaze. Obviously from the name you can guess it is a neon pastel peach cream shade. It was part of the Sensational Neons, which came out like, I think it was 2013 it came out. That was the first neons I ever got, and they were neon pastels, but I am absolutely obsessed with it. Honestly, horrible formulas, but the colors are just unreal gorgeous. They're chalky, they're patchy, but I mean, look at this color, it's so beautiful. I also loved the purple in that collection, which I believe was called That's Sure Bright, but mine ended up fading into this like dull pink color, so I don't really know what happened, but Son of a Peach is still really beautiful and bright, so I'm happy at least this one's still looks nice. All right, next up we have Cirque HEDONIST. This is yet another Vice Collection polish, and this is another one that I have gushed about so much on my channel. This is really one of my favorite yellow nail polishes just of all time. It's just a classic, beautiful, bright, vibrant yellow cream. It is a 3-coater, which is not shocking for yellow, but I feel like the formula is so amazing to work with. It's absolutely worth the buy, and I feel like this kind of shows what I love so much about Cirque neons, and I feel like I say this with all of their neons, but like it looks like they already have a white base coat on when you're applying them, but you don't have to put a white base coat underneath them. Like it looks like the white's already mixed into it, but it's still super bright and neon. So I have no idea how they do it, but I'm very impressed with it, and that's why I love their neon so much. All right, next up we have another Cirque one. This one's called Electric Daisy. It's another Vice one, no surprise there. This one's actually not currently available, but I absolutely had to mention it. It's another favorite of mine. This is like a neon electric green yellow cream shade. Honestly, I would call this like a laser lime shade. It's like painfully bright. It's so beautiful. It's an amazing formula. It's a 2-coater for me, which is extremely impressive because I feel like it does lean a little bit on the yellow side. I know this is a favorite of a lot of you guys too. I hope they re-release this someday because I think it's absolutely stunning. Next up, we have another shade from China Glaze. This one's called Lime After Lime, and this is another neon pastel shade. It is a neon pastel green cream. This wasn't from that collection that I was talking about from 2013 or whenever it was, but thankfully their formula did slightly improve since then. So I really do like this one. It's a lot easier to work with. So yeah, the formula is much improved on this one. I think it looks really nice on the nails. It's a really beautiful shade. And even though it does have that kind of pastel-y quality to it, it's still so bright and neon-y. So I really love it. This is another one that's 2 coats for me. Next up, we have another shade from Orly. This one is called So Fly. This one's actually new to my collection. I just reviewed it for their summer 2020 line, but I absolutely fell in love with it. They have been killing it lately, I feel like, with these neons. I love their neon formulas, so if you guys didn't see that review, I'm gonna link that also. A lot of amazing neons in that collection. It does have a little bit of that pastel-y feel to it, but it's definitely a more vivid green than the China Glaze one I just showed you guys. It is a 2-coater. It's super easy to work with, really gorgeous color. That whole collection really impressed me, but this one definitely rose to the top. All right, next up we have another shade from Cirque Colors. This one is called Kushy. Yes, this is another Vice collection. We still have one more Vice color after this, so don't be terribly surprised, but this was probably my favorite Vice color that they've ever come out with, even though obviously I love their Vice shades so much, but this is probably the most neon nail polish I own, just in general. It's just a super bright neon green. It has an amazing formula. It's a 2-coater. It's not currently available, but they have done re-releases of it before, so I'm sure this one will make an appearance again in the future. It's just blindingly bright, gorgeous shade. I absolutely love it. Next up we have China Glaze Too Yacht to Handle. This is another shade from that sensational neon collection, and I know this one doesn't totally look like a neon. I really had to just add it for nostalgia purposes. My bottle is so beat up. It's actually kind of hilarious because I've used this one so much in my life. I've had this bottle for like 7 years, and I feel like it's been one of my top favorite nail polishes for that long, so it's just kind of funny looking at it, and oof, it kind of smells a little bit strong too. Not a great formula, but it's such a beautiful shade. I really have a lot of sentimental love for this color. It is a 2-coater. It's not self-leveling. You definitely need top coat with it, but I don't know. Does anybody else love that collection as much as I did? Because I feel like that was a really defining collection in my nail polish life. All right, next up we have a blue shade. This is from Orly. It's called It's Britney Beach, and this is actually what I'm wearing right now. If there's such thing as a neon blue, this is it. It's just like a painfully bright primary blue cream. It just screams summer to me, even though it's actually pretty dark. It just feels so summery and bright. It does feel a little bit jelly-like, but it has really amazing opacity. Honestly, it's basically a 1-coater. I am showing you guys 2 coats, but I feel like I can really get away with just doing 1 coat of this on my nails. Next up, we have another one from Salon Perfect. This one is called Purple Pop. This is actually a dupe of the China Glaze That's Shore Bright shade that I was talking about earlier. Mine faded, but this one is still really beautiful and bright, so I actually use this one instead now. It's just like a really bright, warm purple cream, and I actually think this one has a better formula than the China Glaze one. Again, it does dry down to a matte finish, but it is a 2-coater for me. It's super opaque, and you can just throw on a glossy top coat if you don't like that matte finish. All right, and last but definitely not least, we have another Vice shade, of course. This is Cirque Euphoria. And this one actually, I believe this one came out new for this year. So this is another one that's very new to my collection, but I cannot resist purple nail polishes. So as soon as I saw it, I fell in love. As soon as I started applying it, I loved it even more. It's actually a very similar bright purple to the Salon Perfect shade and that old China Glaze shade. It is a little bit lighter, but the formula on this one is definitely easier. This one is an amazing formula. It's self-leveling. It feels really easy to apply. It's a 2-coater for me, so if you have the money to spend on it, I definitely recommend getting this over getting the China Glaze version or getting the Salon Perfect version, but I do still think those are great options for less expensive polishes. But yeah, I just couldn't resist this one. It's absolutely stunning. All right, so that is it for my favorite neon nail polishes. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments what your favorites are, if we have any overlapping faves, what collections you like, if you're as obsessed with Orly and Cirque neons as I am. Let me know in the comments and we'll chat about it. If you guys are enjoying the favorites videos, please give this one a thumbs up. Lets me know I'm doing a good job. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. I guess that is it for this video, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. All right, fun fact. So in addition to my hair being basically brown now, I am gonna try to use one of my little color conditioners and see if I can add a little bit more color back to it, but it's just so dark now, I don't even know if I can. But also, second fun fact, I trimmed my own hair today. I don't know if you guys can even see the bottom because this is a relatively close-up shot, but I don't think I did a terrible job. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.